recording, right?
It's recording right now.
Okay, there we go.
All right, yo, my
All
name's
right.
Argenti. This is Kyrie Abu Alkir. Fucking, Jesus, UFC Fight Night, Song versus
UFC
Figueiredo.
Macau.
UFC Macau. The bowels of China. So yeah, dude.
Oh wow, bowels of China. What an intro to that, huh? The bowels of China. Now, is that because of the casino and rampant gambling that they have going on there?
It's because I don't know. It just sounded. It just came out of my fucking face. I don't know. Like I just said that. But I mean, no, that's a good. I'm glad that you intellectualized that. Yeah,
speaking of intellectual, this card. I'll tell you what I do like about this card, right? Specifically because it involves Song Yadong, who.
Your mic's cutting out a little bit, bro.
How about now? A little better?
Now. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So
sorry,
what I like about this card, obviously, it is a card headlined by Deiveson Figueiredo, former world champion, giving an opportunity to Song Yadong, who, by the way, Song Yadong is a former, a current, Team Alpha Male fighter, a team that I happen to, really understand about their program and how they get down, what type of training they do, what type of things they emphasize on mostly, which obviously, as you know, is footwork, dating back from the days of Uriah Faber, TJ Dillashaw, Joseph Benavidez, who all have fought Dominic Cruz, who, by the way, has phenomenal footwork, right? So it's something that you'll also expect out of Song Yadong. But I also wanted to point out before we get to the rest of the card, right? What I wanted to point out was that if you notice, Team Alpha Male right now is looking less of an American team and more of an international team. I don't know if you've noticed that.
You're saying that there's I didn't actually. You were saying that, right? They got a lot of Asians now. They have Zhang, right? And
yes, Russians, also Welsh. You had Corey McKenna, who also trained there. Mason Jones is also a Team Alpha Male alumni. So a lot of non-Americans.
Is he still there? Mason Jones?
You know what? I'm not quite sure. I think he trains back and forth from here in Sacramento and then back in Wales in his home gym. But the reason why
he's pretty good since he's been back.
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to bring up that observation was because I noticed that, there's this observation that Sean Strickland actually made about American fighters, right? There's not a lot of Americans that are willing to invest their time into an MMA career anymore, right? It just almost seems like
I don't know how true that is. I mean, you see, because sure, you see like a lot of foreigners that now train in the United States, but also it's like the UFC. I mean, the UFC has a monopoly on the shit, but like also, but there's no way around the fact that it has the best, obviously, the best caliber of MMA fighters. So it's like, a lot of the roster are gonna come from where they're from and train in the United States, just because the UFC, because of the UFC PI and other reasons, also, but I mean, with Team Alpha Male, like specifically, like, yeah, that's probably a thing, right? I mean, you would know more than me.
Sure. It only just from my own anecdotal experience. Obviously, there's still plenty of Americans out there that still want to compete, right? We see that in the regionals of LFA. We see that in, Island Fights. Shout out to Island Fights. They gave a return fight for Philip Rowe, who was recently released and now back in the regionals again, trying to make his way up. So there's still Americans that are still willing to go out there and compete. It's just that right now, at least according to Sean Strickland and according to my own anecdotal evidence of what I see out of Team Alpha Male, but also out of what the UFC brass was talking about in the background, saying that they want to develop American stars because they feel that many of them are sort of on a decline, which sort of explains why they catapulted Joe Pfeiffer to fight Israel Adesanya and for Sean Strickland to get this fight against Khamzat Chimaev.
Yo, you're
yeah,
your mic's in that thing.
From, okay. What was the last thing that you heard me say?
You're saying that you're saying that they gave Piper. See, dude, I like that they gave Piper. See, I mean, I don't know. See, people are shitting on the Paramount era of the UFC, and like, I mean, one thing is all the fucking gambling ads, but I don't know. There are like some some main events that like you probably wouldn't have seen before. I mean, maybe but like like Vinicius Oliveira versus Batista, even like Strickland Hernandez, definitely Piper Adesanya. Like I couldn't believe that was real when I saw it. I mean, that's
he was in an obvious decline. Israel Adesanya.
No, oh yeah, no, for sure he was, but even still, it's like, I don't know, it's something about that matchup. That's like a matchup that like you see like a fake fight announcement for and shit. Yeah, I don't know. It's I do like a lot of the matchmaking this year. I mean, with the exceptions like fucking Diego Lopez's undeserved second title shot. I mean, honestly, undeserved first because that boy I felt like I stepped over. But anyway though, we should get to this card because there's time for definitely time for everything with the main event.
And what a great way to start the card off with the Mongolian Murderer. Oh man, I love when Bruce Buffer shouts out his name. Right, the Mongolian.
It's hold on. The first fight is Loma Lookboonmee versus Jaqueline Anderson. Wait, where are you looking? You're not looking at Topology, are you?
Oh yes, that's right. You told me to look at Topology. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, there's been a bunch of replacements.
Okay. Actually, yes, they do have Loma as the first fight. Yes, taking on Jaqueline. How do you pronounce her name?
Jaqueline Anderson, dude. Do you want to go first?
Do you know much about Jaqueline?
Dude, your mic, Kyrie, your mic is fucking. Your mic's like fucking going apeshit. What?
Yeah.
Do you have?
Okay. How about now? Hear me better?
Yeah, you're good. Yo, like here, like on this fight, dude. Like I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna go with Jaqueline Anderson. I'll tell you why, right?
Okay.
So, like obviously Loma Lookboonmee is pretty deadly. Muay Thai, and I mean, and that's not to be ignored. The thing with Jaqueline Anderson is like her very aggressive grappling. And I mean her, and it's like the quality of opponents is relatively similar, to be honest. I mean, you can make the argument that Jaqueline Anderson's fought, she fought Polyana Viana, who's like really no threat. Like, but I mean, Anderson's like regional career, bro. She was thrashing people to the ground and subbing them. She continues to fight like that. Basically, I think that Anderson, I mean, she, and also the way, first of all, the way she subs people. I mean, she got a rear naked choke on Polyana Viana, but, I mean, the arm bars are really deadly. Corey McKenna and Vanessa Demopoulos, she got with arm bars. She has a very elite, submission style. She's very, very, like, aggressive, too. The other thing too is that she's got a lot of. I mean, she's it's a strawweight fight. She's 2 inches taller than Loma, 5'3" and 5'1", but she's got 6.5 inches of reach. So I mean, just from takedowns, she's changed the American top team. They're the same age, like like stats wise. I mean, the reason that stats don't always really mean shit. It's very case by case, right? But yeah, Anarim's a fucking she's a killer. Yo, you're in here on two.
Yeah, add me on that one so that I can give you a. Okay.
On this, which so.
Oh, here we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, just wanted to improve the audio, so this is definitely going to improve the audio.
There's an echo now.
Oh, there's an echo. Okay.
Oh, it's because you probably have the shit open on your phone. All right, you good?
Yeah.
All right. Wait, hold on. Is there still an echo?
Let's see how we can.
I don't care, dude. It's, yeah. I mean, fix it, but like, I'm.
Wait. Could you drop the other one? And then
remove this one. Okay. How about now?
No, I meant drop the first one, not the.
Kick the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, drop the one that has my symbol. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right. So perfect. Okay. So good. We'll do it like this. So this way we'll have any
problem. So yeah. So I think I think Loma is definitely like I mean she's obviously a better striker. Her finishing ability is a little bit it's a little bit lacking. I mean. Yeah, I mean she beat Bruno. She subbed Elise Reed a while back, 3 years ago. I mean she beat Denise Gomez, Bruno Brazil, Estela Nunez by decision. She just lost to Alexa Thainara, who is really good. But Jaqueline Anarim, she lost the decision to Mizuki Inuye, but honestly, like she's very deadly as as like an aggressive fucking submission grappler. And like I mean, and this I mean, there's obviously money coming in on her because the line shifted. She was the underdog, a little like a few days ago. But yeah, I mean,
a decision, perhaps. I mean, considering that most women's fights goes to a decision anyway.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that, but like there's so the way I look at it, dude, is like because a lot of people sort of just hate on WMA, and the UFC. There's like the way I see it is like there's like 15% of the roster, right, of women that like sort of justify WMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Jaqueline Anarim is probably one of them, just because of how aggressive she is, and like I mean, bro, she lost her last fight by decision. Before that, she was on a I think 4-fight win streak. Let me check.
Mizuki Inoue, and that was in the Tom Aspinall Cyril Gane card.
Yeah, and she was that was a fucking upset, but but before that, she was on a 4-fight win streak by finish, TKO on Montserrat Ruiz, and then 2 arm bars in the first round, Corey McKenna, Vanessa Demopoulos, and then the rear naked choke in the first round against Poliana Viana. She lost her debut by decision to Sam Hughes, but like a lot, losing a debut is not, it's not the worst thing.
And decision losses are not always indicative of everything.
No, yeah, of course. I mean, the only danger to her from Loma is being kept on the feet. The reason I don't think that's going to happen is because, like, Anarim's reach kind of enables her to keep Loma away from her. See, it's like Loma clinches, like, Loma's Muay Thai is, like, is top shelf. But, it's like, I mean, Anarim would have to fuck up a lot to be in to get lured into a striking fight. I mean, I think the plan is going to be take Loma to the ground. So it's like, I mean, decision or even a late sub for Anarim is what I think. Right?
So So you do see a finish in this. So okay, so I think we can both agree so far that Amoron has the better grappling, right? Loma has the better striking, but who's going to implement whose game? And I think we both are in unanimous decision that Amoron is going to implement the grappling. Right now, you say finish, but I'm gonna say decision with the same person.
All right. Yeah, I mean, round the method. I mean, yeah, we talk about that. I like to keep track of disagreements. Like as we go through the cards to keep some fucking competition.
Mm-hmm.
What
What do you think the finish of the round is going to be?
Oh, what type of submission?
Mm-hmm. Submission and round.
I mean, I mean, well, it'll be a finish by submission. I think. Where do I have it? Glad you asked that question. Fucking, I mean, dude, she armbarred Vanessa Demopoulos, who has like the shortest reach ever. It's like 57 inches or something. So it's like, Loma's similarly built. At least, might be an armbar, to be honest. But let me see. Yeah, I think it's a third round submission. I think I think she gets her. I think the first round, I mean, Loma could even win the first round, but I think maybe a late takedown for Anarim. She might even steal it. I think and then I think she's gonna bulldoze her to the ground. So second or third round, it's gonna be Loma struggling to not get submitted. Could go to decision, but I mean, Anarim hunts for fucking subs, so.
Okay, so that's sort of what you're seeing as to why you're picking what you're picking, because you feel that, she's very aggressive, looking for the finish, right?
Yeah.
But not necessarily at an early on type of
I mean, Loma's not gonna just let herself. Loma's actually pretty. I mean, she's definitely a deadly, fighter. But yeah, I don't think she's gonna be able to avoid getting taken down unless she could lure Anarim into a striking fight. I'm not gonna lock Anarim, but like, I'm definitely gonna take her. So
okay.
yeah, so we agree. All right, yo, next fight.
Different method.
What?
I said we agree on.
Yeah, exactly.
Method,
All right.
but you can see why we are picking what we're picking. Obviously, you have it in the late rounds because it's a while for her to cook Loma, which is the common factor that I think we're looking at here. But also, you take into consideration the fact that she has a very aggressive stance in looking for the finish, and so you feel that somewhere down the line she's going to get it. I kind of feel the opposite. I feel like once you have that rinse and repeat cycle of constantly taking someone down, it's going to just stick into that, into that rhythm.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I can see that at least for sure.
But we're both looking at the
we both got Anarim
fashion, yeah.
All right, so next fight is was it so it's they replaced Ramon Perez. So yeah, Rodrigo well, how the fuck do you say this? Kangjie Zhu, right? There's Zhu Kang like Zhu Kangjie versus Rodrigo Vera, right? So this fight is weird to me because I mean Rodrigo Vera, short notice replacement. Originally it was gonna be Ramon Tavares, who kind of sucks, honestly. Rodrigo Vera is good, man. Like you know, when I was before I left LA for New York, I did like some tape study for this card. You know, I was you know, I was looking at this dude because he's 21-1, 1 right? 30 years old, featherweight, right? Peruvian. Like, you know, it's basically, it's like, you know, and you know, Kangjie is 21-4. They're both 30 years old. It's a lot of fucking fights, man. Like, you know, 25 fights for Kangjie, and you know, 23 for Vera. You know, there's a lot of pro MMA fights for 30
And
year
the
olds.
loss Vera has had was against also another undefeated fighter back in Combate 38. Yeah, I'm very familiar with that organization. A
Really?
guy I trained with in Team Alpha Male, Eric Sanchez, fought in that organization.
No
You know,
shit.
yeah, they emphasize
Damn.
a lot of yeah, he fought in that organization when what's that pro wrestler's name? Alberto Del Rio was the promoter. So they heavily emphasize on promoting, you know, South American talent. And yeah, man, that's a very impressive record, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that's yo. What a lot of people don't know about you, by the way, is you were a competitive Muay Thai fighter.
Mhm.
You know, Kyrie. You know, he's a family man now. He used to kill people for a living. Um,
I'm not going to confirm or deny if I still do in the streets, but yeah. Yes.
yeah. So, yeah, and he's got this split draw early on. But from Sparta, which is, you know, at that time. So, but yeah, FFC. He was an FFC champion. He's got, you know, Vera's got, you know, he's got a lot of decision wins. He's got the occasional TKO, a few more subs. You know, and then he went from FFC to he had one fight in LFA, wins the unanimous decision. You know, um, one more regional fight, and you know, signed with the UFC. Um, you know, I don't. This fight's not too short notice for that really to be any kind of like, you know, worry for me. Um, so
When was Vera notified of
bro, they still have the UFC website, like the matchups. They still have Ramon Tavares as the fighter. So
same on
not,
Google?
yeah. Don't look at Google. It's yeah, you gotta go back to Apology.
The Google is the casuals page, and Typology is for the hardcores, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, also like, I mean, Wikipedia is like catching up to. I can't believe the UFC themselves haven't updated the shit, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, because we know what's up, dude. We know who's actually fighting on this, thanks to Topology.
Probably because they know other websites have a better, you know, a better like, you know,
I mean, yeah, but it's like the UFC's website. They don't even have like the goddamn. You know, it's I mean, well, anyway. So yeah, I mean, I think bro. This is a close fight. You know, I mean, it's very like, you know, it's very like, what should I say? You know, because it's like you can see it for both fighters. You know,
and the factor of a short notice. Now,
I don't think that matters because I mean it's not that short notice. It's also, I mean, the dude was in camp for another fight, and you know, I mean, you know, obviously, fucking, how do you pronounce this dude's name? It's Kangjie, right? Chinese guy. He's bro. See, this guy has 4 losses, but you know, most of them are early on. And you know, I mean, he did get triangle choked early on, but then, you know, it was a split decision loss, another split decision loss, and lost by, you know, unanimous decision regionally. Then he was on road to UFC. You know, he won all 3 of his road to UFC fights, 1 by decision and 2 by split. And I do remember, I remember his most recent one for sure. I should have gone back and watched the one before that, but I also watched his first one. See, the thing is with him, Kangjie, right? He's like, he's basically, he's very like, how do I say it? His pacing is, kind of slow, which means that like, he can like it can become his opponent's fight very quickly. Like, he
That's a
he
good.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Something I notice a lot with Asian fighters, specifically from China, not so much with Japan, right? Unlike Haraguchi, I mean, he puts up a pretty fast pace.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, Horiguchi's, a lot of fighters are special cases because I mean, you in Ryzen, you kind of have to, and and he's a flyweight, and yeah, he's got very fast hands. You know, um, Zhu is like he's dude, he's technical, but he's not, nothing else about him particularly stands out. I don't see him, being, it's like he'll win a decision, a split decision, you know. But Rodrigo Vera, he's got way more. Okay, so watching tape on him, dude, he's got more like his shot placement is a lot more precise, right? It's like both of them are technical, but you know, and Jew does. It seems like he tends to pressure more, but his pressure is kind of soft, if you know what I mean. Like, I think, and I also think that like Vera's stand up is like, it's just he just looks like it's like both of them are it's like because they don't necessarily have the same style, but it's close enough, and I think Vera fights that way better.
right.
I think also like I noticed watching Zhu's most recent fight that went to split. He won by split decision in Road to UFC. He tends to fade a little bit, and whereas Vera,
Down advantage though, even though if he fades
I
very.
I don't put much stock necessarily in hometown advantage, bro. I mean, there's and there's all kinds of examples of that. I mean, off the top of my head, Renato Moicano beating Benoit Saint-Denis in Paris. You know, like
Factoring in though, factoring in that perhaps maybe he may have flown there a little bit earlier, and not to say
sure.
that didn't, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and
I
also
mean,
another example where you're right about that, where it didn't really matter as much when Darren Till fought in the first BMF card against against Kelvin Gastelum. So he had visa issues coming into New York, and he didn't get there until literally Thursday. Like he got to fight week in New York Thursday from England, and I mean, basically he basically needed Trump to clear out his visa issues, right? And so Trump cleared out his visa issues. He flew out there. He did his own scrum, right on the night of the press conference. He did his own scrum. So as soon as he stepped off the plane, he was right in front of media doing his own single scrum, and and he still ended up winning the fight. Which is not very ideal, right? For somebody who is UK based, flying over, 8 hours into New York, right? Not ideal, but he did it anyway.
yeah.
Now with Vera, what I
Dude, you
learned
said
with
sorry.
Vera, Yeah, I see what you're saying when you say that they both have a similar style, right? Sort of, slow but methodical, right? And you feel that Vera may fight in that style a whole lot better than let's say Ku. But the thing is though, I feel that Ku may have more of the tougher competition, right? Because I
See,
do get
I disagree because Vera, dude, Vera fought this guy, undefeated guy at the time, Rickson Zenadim, right?
that's the
Um
America fight, right?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, the 8-0 guy, right?
No, he was third. The guy was 13 and
Oh, okay. Oh, so he beat somebody else that was also undefeated.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it was in FFC. It was a championship fight. And
okay.
and it was it was pretty much total control. I mean 30-27, very very like and very cardio reliant. The guy's endgame that he was fighting was like the guy was like completely a finisher, right? It's kind of a odd comparison, but you could almost compare it to Volkov versus Pavlovich. Very measured, like neutralizing of a guy that's like technical, but also like can kill you with a single shot, right? Um, Dude. By the way, really quick, you'd be surprised how easy it is to get like just a prediction video shadow ban for quote unquote shocking content. You know, um,
And sometimes they make it so ambiguous what's considered shocking content.
well, yeah. No, it's just yeah. But no, I just thought that because I'm like, kill, yeah. Ugh, I hate YouTube's bullshit with that. But no, it's
But at the
okay.
same time, you don't want to be like Critical Eye MMA, who doesn't have any emotional intelligence and just shoots and
Shout
think.
out Critical Eye MMA, Toothless in Colombia.
Yeah, I
So
have good dental down there.
yeah,
Since,
yo, I mean, I just won the debate with that dude. You danced on his grave, man, which
oh
is
man,
great. I mean, more power to you, and
yeah.
no
So,
power.
I'm gonna go with Vera.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Vera too. Dude. I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think Vera edges it out. It could even go split. Honestly, I mean, it probably will. By the way, I mean, I just get that feeling. But yeah, Vera. I'm gonna take Vera by decision.
Me as well. Same
All right,
decision on that one as well.
all right, nice. All right, cool. So, all right,
Next,
next fight,
and
Angela Hill versus um Zhang
Xiong,
Zhang Jingnan, right?
Zhang
Yes.
Jingyan, yeah, Zhang Jingyan, at 38 years old. By the way,
Sweet.
I don't like that for the strawweight division, but at the same time, it is also. I mean, you know what? Regardless, right?
Wait, hold on, dude. Yeah, she's 38, and Angela Hill's 41 though.
It's a different kind of 41, right? Like
I
because
mean, yeah, it's like the thing with Angela Hill, right, is that she is it's like she's mostly losing these days. She's 18 and 16, but the thing about her is that like she'll fight till she's like burger, bro. She'll brawl. And then also, I mean, and every once in a while it's like I remember it was hold on. It was 2 years ago, yeah. Her first finish in fucking like years I think it was a standing guillotine. Yeah, it was. The second round against Luana Pinheiro, you know, like which is pretty impressive. She
2 years.
doesn't really get finished much, but and yeah. Mackenzie Dern couldn't finish her. Baby Shark couldn't finish her. Yasmin Lucindo, Fatima Klein, who finishes a lot of people, couldn't either. And she won a split decision against Caitlin Souza, but that's her most recent win. She's active a lot, especially for her age. But she's like the Black Holly Holm, dude. She's just stayed in the shit.
And also the female Donald Cerrone, I would argue to that effect as well.
I would say the difference there though is that Cerrone was getting finished a lot towards the end.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that. So sort of like a journeyman. You know what? She kind of reminds me of. It's kind of like these journeyman boxers that I see in the world of boxing, right? See, a lot of them, believe it or not, I mean, I don't know if you know this, a lot of them are like paid to lose, right? Like they kind of bring them in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, bro, that's boxing for you,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's like, I mean, bro, it's like I forget what I was talking to earlier, like where we were like, imagine being a UFC can, right? You're Austin Lane or Lucas Bresky or some shit, like. But I mean, it is a different thing, a little, from boxing. I mean, Angela Hill is, I don't know if she's paid to lose, but she's definitely.
Oh no, there's none of that in the UFC. I was just comparing in terms of the results.
Yeah. I think that I think she's been mad a couple of her matchups to use her as like a stepping stone, but that can also turn into a fraud checking of like a prospect.
Now, do you think that's what this is, considering that they are bringing her to fight someone who's Chinese in China?
I mean, yeah, only in that Jingnan, how the fuck you say it, is this is her UFC debut. She's fought and won, and she's a champion in one fight championship. She's and she's 19-2, right? She
Pretty good record.
Very good record. Her first loss was very early, unanimous decision regionally. She fought Angela Lee 3 times, all championship fights, and I mean, yeah, she was the one.
And how did you win those fights with Angela Lee?
So she was already the champion, right?
So Lee beat her for the title.
Well, no. So no, she beat Tiffany Teo by knockout for the belts. Defended against Laura Ballin, defending against Tamara Santos, by knockout, and then fought Angela Lee the first time, knocked her out in the 5th round, right? Rematch, Angela Lee got her by sub, and took the belts. And I believe Angela Lee lost that to Tiffany Teo. And then Jingnan fought Tiffany Teo again, won the belt back, defended it 2 more times, and then fought Angela Lee a 3rd time, and won by decision. She she had I don't remember this fight, but she had a custom.
I have to give consideration on that because, look, I think ONE FC has some tough competition. At least with the division, especially with the division.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
I really consider that one. And also, I feel that if the UFC wants somebody to win, it's kind of like with the Gable Stevenson debut, right? On International Fight Week, the same card with Conor McGregor, right? You kind of know that the UFC knows what they're doing by putting Ellison against against Gable.
Yeah, because Gable Stevenson, I mean, as much as he's supposed to be, I mean, he is largely unproven, and I mean, there have been a lot of guys like that. Like, I mean, Robelis Spain, who like I knew about, for a long time, since I was way younger, just from Taekwondo. It very, a performance bonus earning debut, and then it's made very obvious that guys never rolled the jiu-jitsu class in his life. You know, and Kai Asakura, who's on this card, actually, we'll get to that. Yeah, his, you know, his lack of grappling was taken advantage of by you know, by Pantoja off an immediate title shot, and then again by Tim Elliott, who fought a weirdly good fight against him. But anyway, dude, like, you know, her Jingnan's record, you know, like, yeah, those her title defenses and the 3 Angela Lee fights, you know, she also strikes the body a lot. Like, you know, she and, you know, she's very good at adapting to an opponent's pace. You know, like, I think that, I don't know if she finishes Angela Hill. I honestly don't think so, just because Angela Hill is very, very like, yeah, I mean, she just won't allow herself to be finished.
Yeah, that's one thing about Hill. Very difficult to finish, and I think she's going to have a very hard time trying to finish her. But I do see her winning, though, by decision.
Yeah, me too. I mean, she's very powerful. She got very good boxing. You know, her, you know, her, see, it's like, you know, I mean, Hill has high output, and, you know, and Hill has really good cardio, too. I mean, the thing is that, let me actually look at their stats for a second. I mean, let me see. They don't have fucking UFC, so like, but yeah, I mean, yeah, well, I mean, on Angela Hill's end, like, I mean, she's, yeah, I mean, both of them are old, bro, but Angela Hill, I mean, you know, I mean, it's like I mean, she still fights very well, but, like, you know, she's not gonna beat a ONE FC champion. Not this one. Like, she absorbs almost as much, as many strikes per minute as she lands. You know, her and her. I mean, this won't be a grappling match. You know, you know, and it's like Angela Hill could land. You know, she could be ahead on strikes, but, you know, Jingnan, Zhang, I can't fucking say it. You know, she could put her on the ground with a single strike, you know. I mean, she could even knock her out, but I just don't see that the way Angela Hill, you know, just the tenacity of her. So,
yeah, durable, but at the same time, there's holes in her game, especially for former, you know, ONE FC champion.
yeah, Angela Hill will eat counter strikes, and she does that against you know, against Jingnan, and yeah, she's gonna get killed. Knocked out, not killed. YouTube. But
As you know, as the young kids say nowadays, unalive.
Yes. Deleted, whatever. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna.
Language is you know, unalive. Yeah. So
Yeah, I take Jingnan by decision.
Same. So all right. So far we're in unanimous decision so far with all the 3 fights. So next one we got Ray Tatsura taking on Jesus Aguilar.
No, it's Louis Gurule. Luis Gurule is replacing Aguilar on short notice, even though he just fought. And the thing about that, because Jesus Aguilar, I took him against Stuart Nickel. You know, he barely lost to Rafael Esteban. He didn't look so good in his last fight, but I was struggling on that because Ray Teixeira is good, but, you know, he's, you know, Aguilar can be like squirrely. Luis Gurule is trash, bro. Like, Daniel Barres is like, you know, like a sopping wet, dripping garbage bag. But Luis Gurule is still trash, right? And he just fought 2 weeks ago. Like, you know, and it's not like he took no damage in that fight. Can't believe he really even cleared the fight 2 weeks later. He was on a 3. He debuted by losing, I mean, he's on Contender Series. He won a split
They're
decision.
cleared fight 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So,
and
sorry,
you know
go
who
ahead.
got cleared? You know who got cleared for a fight in China? Michael Bisping, after getting beat
Oh,
up
yeah.
St. Pierre, only for him to get knocked out by Kelvin Gastelum, if you remember that fight back.
Yeah, I do. Actually, wow. Damn, I probably would never have thought about that in my life if you hadn't brought it up. Good shit. So okay, so let me tell you why.
Well, that's sort of the beauty of bringing in people of MMA. I mean, we all have MMA knowledge, but we all have different MMA knowledge, and that's just one thing that I remember about a Chinese card was I literally stayed up for that. I was like, you know what? I want to see how Michael Bisping is going to do here,
hmm,
because 2 weeks after getting put out by George St. Pierre, and now he's in here with Kelvin Gastelum, and lo
yeah,
and behold, the result was him getting knocked out.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. Um, dude, Rage Series is very good. Now Gurule debuted after winning a split decision on Contender Series. He debuted. He got knocked out by Ode Osborne, right? Not the best look. Jesus Aguilar, who was gonna the original opponent for Teixeira, beat Gurule by decision, and then Alden Correa, who I think is really good, beat him by decision. Couldn't finish him, but still, he just beat Daniel Barres. I think 30-27. Which 5 days ago from now, so that's it'll be 2 weeks. And that fight was not. I mean, he was dominant. Gurule was, but it was, he definitely took damage. Ray Teixeira, he's a road to UFC guy, Japanese. Other than Nakamura and obviously Horiguchi and Tetsuro Taira, he's basically, you know, yeah. He's one of the only Japanese.
And he's a road to UFC champion.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he debuted against Carlos Hernandez. His road to UFC fights too are very unlike what's his name, whatever the fuck, the second fight, he did Ray Teixeira, he's getting finishes in road to UFC.
Would you say that tougher competition and, let's say, being in the Ultimate Fighter house, or
Yeah, bro, the Ultimate Fighter is trash now. I think Contender Series is good. Road to UFC gets, I think a lot of good fighters come out of Road to UFC. I'm very I think it's underrated. The thing is, and the other thing is that Ray Teixeira's only loss was to Joshua Van, who could not finish him. Won a decision,
and now he's champion, which says a lot.
It does. That's a very respectable loss.
How do you rate Lewis's recovery in relationship to, let's say, Ray here, who hasn't fought since March?
Bro, I think Luis Gurule, I don't even think it matters because Barras looked terrible. Gurule was on a 3-fight losing streak. I guess the UFC showed him mercy and didn't cut him after they renewed his contract despite his loss, his 3-fight losing streak since his debut.
So in other words, they're making Lewis play the Michael Bisping role right now with Ray as the proverbial Kelvin Gastelum 2017 in this situation.
The proverbial Kelvin Gastelum. Imagine if there were proverbs about Kelvin Gastelum. Fucking fat pig, selfish fool, fucking Gastelum.
And you know who he was going to fight in that card, right? Anderson Silva. And for, whatever, I can't remember what the reason was why that fight fell through, but Anderson couldn't make it. And, Michael Bisping raised his hand. He's like, well, I'll do it. I was like, well, Mike, but you got choked. Because they give you suspension. Most normal commissions will give you suspension for a choke like that. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, I think it was yesterday was the anniversary of when Kamaru Usman first got choked, right? And I remember what he said
The
about
anniversary? How do you know that? That's crazy.
yeah. May 24, 2013 was when he got submitted. And
Damn.
so what he said about that fight was that he tapped right away because he did not want to get suspended any longer. He needed money, so he needed a fight straight away. Right. So
Hmm.
he's like, all right, I'm just going to tap. There's no point in me going to sleep. I can't go anywhere. So he tapped, based on a business decision, to just so that he can, be cleared by any commission to fight again in the next coming weeks. So, yeah, but if you go to China, they don't care. Oh, you got choked by GSP? Cool story. Here's Kelvin
Yeah,
Gastelum.
yeah. And I mean, I like that about a lot of foreign cards because there's different, like, so for example, when Tai Tuivasa fought Rosenstrike in Australia, there was one judge that gave all 3 rounds to fucking Tai Tuivasa, and like, what do you think happened to that judge, bro? Like, it's not like the United States where there's a gaming commission that, like, it's like, no, they just fired him, you know? Which, is kind of nice. And then all the Middle Eastern cards where, like, steroids are welcomed, Um,
Right. But if you're a normal citizen, yeah, let's not speak on that. But yeah, you're definitely you're not wrong with what you're saying. I was just trying to prevent myself from getting unalived over there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That there's all of that is a-okay. It's all signed off. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So, I mean, this is the thing. I think that, basically, yeah, Ray Teixeira, he's, how should I put it?
He's brought here to win so that they can build up Asian fighters in the region. And so here comes Luis.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, they obviously, because it's like, I mean, they could have just dropped the fight. I mean,
Coming
I
off
don't,
a fight from 1 week ago, and then prior to that, coming off of multiple losing streaks, fighting against a guy who did very well against Joshua Van. And so I think what the UFC might want to do is build up their flyweight division, and what better way than to build him up in a regional in his regional setting like this. Obviously he's Japanese, that's not his country, but
yeah,
all
but, like, they're gonna want to do a Japan. I think they are. Are they not doing a Japan card for Horiguchi Cobb? I'm not sure.
oh, is that I'm sorry, is that a thing?
I don't
Haraguchi,
know. I don't know if that's in Japan, but they will want to eventually.
but is that a fight they're looking at next for Manel Cap? Is
Yeah,
Haraguchi?
no, that's made Manel Cobb Horiguchi because they both, it's a trilogy and they're 1-1 on knockouts.
Yeah,
Actually,
Ryzen, right?
yeah,
Oh,
Rising. Yeah.
very nice. I always love that, man. I love when they have rivalries from other organizations and then they bring it into the UFC, right? I mean, very similar to Pereira and Adesanya, but obviously in a kickboxing sense,
Yeah,
while transitioning to MMA.
yeah, no, for sure. This fight's moved up to bantamweight because of the short notice for Gurule, which I think favors Tsuruya just being a little bit bigger. Um, you know, he's not gonna have to, cut as much weight. And basically Ray Teixeira has everything going for him. Like, he's
And also, man, I think the jet lag is going to affect him right now. Let me
Gurule.
ask you, man. You
I mean,
flew.
they're both fine, but
I don't know about Luis, man. You know what I mean? Luis is his the jet lag's gonna affect him because look, I've traveled to that part of the world, right, in the Philippines before, and I remember my jet lag lasted, like in just right under a week. So yeah, and him coming in here is just kind of right under a week, right? I don't, yeah, I think that's going to factor in the jet lag a little bit. I mean, you've recently, right now, you're in New York. You traveled there from LA, the West Coast. How's your jet lag feeling right now?
I don't feel anything, man.
Okay, well, maybe 4 hours.
No, dude. It's hard. Like it was
Not.
annoying as fuck because I had fucking flight delays, dude. It was like 4 hour layover in Denver. Very annoying. Like
Yeah. Okay. You're
no,
feeling.
dude. I was homicidal. It was fucking terrible. I mean, but yeah, dude. I mean, sure. I mean, everything. Everything points to Ray Syria winning for sure. I mean, I might even lock him. I probably will, to be honest. Because Luis Gurule is not. I mean, he looked good against Daniel Barres, right? He didn't look that fucking good, and also 3-fight losing streak, knockout loss to Ode Osborne. I mean, how do you pick Gurule in this fight? Although he's got durability, right? But that like see, it's like Teixeira will shoot takedowns. He's got 4 inches of reach. I'm just looking at the stats. I mean, Gurule's whole thing is to strike with pressure, right? And Racer is kind of gonna neutralize that. He's also his grappling's a lot better. As well. I mean, he could even potentially sub him, but I think Racer wins by decision.
I'm gonna go with the same guy, but I think he's gonna finish him in the first round, knockout.
Really? How?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
shit.
Because I really consider the jet lag, right? Only because I just know what that feels like.
I mean,
From
I think if anything, it would be a sub, dude. I mean, it might be, club and sub, as they say.
Yeah, I'll throw a first round knockout in there, like where I think he makes a mistake, right? It's one of those knockouts where it's not a knockout that he'll usually, like for example, the knockout that you saw out of Francis Ngannou and Felipe Lenz, right? That's standard. That's what we know Francis Ngannou to be. We know he knocks out people like that, right? Even in the most sloppiest way, he'll get a knockout like that, right? So that's like
Yeah.
a given. That's like a status quo of what we understand his skills and attributes sort of lend themselves to, right? These are what I would call circumstantial sequences where, the factor of the jet lag, the lack of focus, to which he's going to put his hands down in the wrong time, to where, Ray is going to clip him, somewhere in the first round. And so I know it's a bit of a bold prediction, but these things can happen.
Dude, be bold. Be bold.
Yeah. So first round knockout, you're going with decision.
Yeah. Oh shit, are we an hour in? Yo, let's gun it, bro. Fucking all right. So next fight is Cody Haddon versus how the fuck, like I was
The Mongolian murderer.
So pronounce his name for me. I mean I know how it's like Aoriqileng. I mean I know who he is.
The Mongolian the Mongolian unaliver is not good enough. Okay, Arui, Awuri, Kule,
Aor, yeah,
Aori.
but is it,
Yeah,
don't they say Aoriqileng or some shit?
yeah, that's a very Mongolian name. That's how you know when a Chinese person is Mongolian, when they have a name
Mhm.
that sounds like, sort of like Eastern Europeanish, sort of
They're
like.
related to Genghis Khan, bro. He knows where Genghis Khan's buried, son. No, that's Tumen Dembaro, bro. That and Oralbai, even though Oralbai is not Mongolian, he just knows that. I know he knows that. Fucking all right. So yeah, I think Cody Haddon's got this, dude. Honestly, I mean, it's like, how do you? I mean, all right, hold on. I mean, yeah, 26-11 is like a good, very good amount of fights, but like, it's just, and I mean, the age difference is not, it's a 26-12, and Haddon's what, 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's, I mean, how many more? I can't do
So you're
math.
going based off the record.
38 professional MMA fights to 9. Although the thing with Cody Haddon, I mean, they're the same height, same reach, right? Cody Haddon, though, I mean, yeah, his first round sub in on the Contender Series. He was a champion in Hex MMA, which is actually a pretty respectable Australian promotion.
Wait, say the
You know,
organization name again.
Hex, HEX.
Oh,
MMA. Yeah, he beat Dan Argueta by decision in his debut. No one's a lot of the time, not no one, but a lot of, having not the greatest debut is, I mean, Pavlovich got knocked out in his debut. So did Carlos Ulberg, early on, Marab lost, early on, Islam lost. Like, yeah,
Arman. Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean, taking on Islam Makhachev, which he was destined to fight for a championship. At some point, and here
yeah.
we are. Here we are. Years later, here's Arman Tsarukyan doing a snap down on MMA Guru. Here, years later, here's
Yeah, but here, dude, it's
on
things
top
come out.
9.
Things come out in the wash, though, dude. After Teixeira knocks out Gaethje, he'll get to, Armin versus Teixeira will happen. The only real threat to Teixeira in the division, in my opinion. But anyway, dude. All right. So who you got in this?
I'm going with the Mongolian unaliver.
Really? All right. Cool. We got a disagreement.
Yeah, first
Nice.
one, our first,
Yeah, it is.
and yeah, I think that he gets a TKO in the second round for this one. Yeah, not, I think there's I think that I think there's a good chance of that, right? If that is it, depending on how aggressive the fight gets. But if the fight gets very aggressive, I mean, there's a reason why they call him the Mongolian unaliver.
Yeah,
Even though,
you love that. You love that, huh? Dude, Haddon, dude, the thing is, like, I don't know. I mean, I think Aoriqileng is like, I mean, Cody Haddon's very good, like, under pressure. Like, he, it's like, I mean, his quality of opponents other than Steve Argueta, or Dan Argueta rather, has been, regional. I mean, well, Dan Argueta and Billy Brown on the Contender Series. Aoriqileng's fucking. I mean, it could be like Rongju versus Cody Steele, where you got a guy who's like middling in the UFC, but like, and this prospect with a lot of hype on him, but he's coming in a little too hot and loses his first fight. But to be honest, like, Haddon's just really got to survive. The first like round and a half. I think he's gonna just. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna. I wouldn't call it point fighting, but yeah, I think he's gonna win he'll win rounds, you know, not probably very in a very like measured way, to be honest. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. These fights are hard to predict because it's like, I mean, well, it's like if he was debuting Haddon, like, and he hadn't had the Argetta fight, I'd probably be agreeing with you. But yeah. I mean, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'm taking Haddon.
Okay, so first opposite picks on that one. Okay, very good. So all right, next one. The next fight we got coming up is Jose Henrique versus Meng Ding. Okay, now
Sorry.
Jose Henrique has he's 8-1, but Meng Ding has got a very good very extensive record at 35-9. So he's got about
Yeah,
50 fights.
35-9, bro. So fucking yeah, it's 44 professional MMA fights at 31 years old. Jose Enrique is 24. You know, so he is 7 years younger. He's got he's got 9 professional fights. He's bigger. He's an inch taller, 6'3". He's got 4-inch reach advantage. But honestly, dude,
And
I
Ming
mean,
has very good kicks coming off of a leg kick win in Uriah Favor's show back in October 4th.
yeah,
5 leg kicks and punches. He finished in the second round. And then and now here he is in his UFC debut. Henrique coming off of a win
Jose Enrique.
in the regional scene. So this is UFC debut. Okay, very, very, very tough matchup to call on this one. One guy coming off of a UFC debut. I believe this is this both of their UFC debuts actually. Oh, but
Yeah, they're both debuting. Yeah.
want to consider contender series fights. That's not really counted as a fight, but the experience is warranted nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, and it's like Meng Ding, he did. Let's see, his losses are mostly by submission earlier in his career. He fought a kickboxing fight that he lost by decision. He won one after that. But yeah, he lost the contender series fight to Rami Hamed. And then after that, yeah, he fought in Uriah Favor's A1 combat, right? He fought for a belt right away. And he, by round 2 knockout. I think it's like, so I'm taking him. Taking Meng Ding.
Me as well. And I'm basing that off of just extensive experience, right? Because look, you have 2 UFC.
No. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I forgot that Jose Enrique also lost the contender series fight by knockout. Actually, got knocked out, and and then
I think that confirms it right there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, his regional fights since then. I mean, CFC, like, it's not, not the greatest promotion. He's, he won a majority decision. Won his most recent fight by a round 2 knockout, but quality of opponents is a lot different. I mean, it's like, what I see happening, honestly, I think Meng Ding knocks him out. I mean,
yes. First round. I think he's going to knock him out first round. And look, the reason why I say that, right, is because the experience factor, right? 2 UFC debutants, right? But one has like almost 50 fights in his UFC debut, right? The other one is just sort of like getting his feet wet. He's going to feel the nerves in the first round, and I think ultimately that's going to affect him to where he's going to make a mistake. Yeah, I'm going first round knockout by TKO. Like, I think he gets him with like a leg kick throws some body kicks here and there. He hurts.
Yeah, he pressures too. He pressures and he strikes very hard. I mean, and like he'll neutralize the reach advantage of Henrique just by fucking forcing his way.
It's not good for a UFC debutant. It's not ideal for a UFC debutant facing somebody that is a pressure fighter right away.
Yeah, I mean they are both debuting, but yeah, I agree. I mean, the one is just
debuting, but at a very unequal.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I
40 50 fights versus barely 10.
Not even 9. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I say a bit. Okay, yeah, hardly 10, not even 10. Yeah. I'm just saying barely 10 because maybe there were some amateur fights that may be considered, or sometimes there's guys that fight that have fights that are not even counted on their record. Which I found out at some point. I was like, wow, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, Topology usually does the best job of that. And I mean, if fights are so obscure that they're not counted, they're probably so early that it's not indicative of anything. But next fight is exactly.
I wanted to add something to that with the Tapology thing, right? They're also very good at investigating.
Yeah. There was that whole thing with Michael Morales, but that I don't know what did they update his record based on that?
They didn't really do much with that, because if you look at Morales's Michael, let's see. Let's take a look at Michael Morales's.
He was 19-0, and they found 2 fights. One was a win, one was a loss, supposedly.
Okay, so the problem with those losses was that they were.
There was 1 loss, I believe.
They were like
it was a 2-round. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exhibition. So they were considered exhibition fights. So his defeated streak still remains as a result of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it makes sense because these exhibition fights are only 2 rounds, right? When they do
I remember
Ultimate Fighter style fights, they're only 2 rounds. And by the way, that's also the controversy that they have with Khabib's earlier fights, because he had a 2-round fight very early in his career, and they want to basically expunge that out of his record or count it as amateur or exhibition. But it is, they're not going to touch that. It's Khabib. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Isaac Lee versus Luis Felipe Diaz. I actually like this fight a lot. So Isaac Lee, South Korean guy, like Korean top team. These guys are middleweights. Neither one of them is very big for middleweight. Diaz is only 5'10".
Especially the height. That's very
5'10" and 6 feet on the nose. Isaac Lee, he lost by rear naked choke to a regional opponent 2 years ago.
And how about literally in the last second?
Well, no. That was a win. That was his most recent fight. Where he won that by rear naked choke. And then before that, he got a Von Flue choke. Damn. He's he's definitely dangerous, right? 26. He's 8-1. Luis Felipe Diaz is 16-5, but the thing about him, he's coming like Isaac Lee's experience is very, very, it's marginal in that it's like regional opponents. Round 2 rear naked choke win for Luis Felipe Diaz. Before that, he 42nd rear naked choke. Now before that, he was on a 2-5 losing streak, and Brave and 2 Brave fights. Or 3, right?
Bro,
no, 2. Yeah, he got knocked out.
Fight is going to be insane.
Yeah. He lost. Yeah, he did get subbed by Joseph Almeida in a grappling match. But before that, he he had some, like somewhat of an impressive regional career. But like, I mean, honestly, this fight's weird because I mean, both of them are small for the for the fucking division. First of all, but
Now, is this just a conscious choice of them to fight in these divisions, or is it just they caught themselves in a lot of like short notice fights and are like,
oh no, it's I mean, dude, Diaz is he was grappling against Jaqueline Almeida, so I mean they're both they're both built for middleweight, kind of like a Chris Curtis,
yeah.
but the
Oh
thing
yeah, yeah,
is,
yeah. I see the comparison that you mean. Yeah, because Chris Curtis is standing at like 5'10" at 185. Yeah, I see the comparison that you make there. 6 feet though, that's pretty standard size
for
for
middleweights, on average, middleweights usually like 6'1", 6'2".
Okay, yeah, six
I
one.
mean, think about the last. I mean, Strickland. I mean, Whitaker is 6 feet, but like Strickland's 6'1". Dreykus, what's Dreykus? 6'1". Izzy was 6'4". Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Diaz, like he's got like he's just got the better. I mean, he's 16-5, sure, but like that's 21 fights. He's 5 years older. These had 9 and 8-1, but the quality of opponents is just so much. Like the gap is, like sort of speaks for itself. Um, his and the people that he lost to, are in their own right. His I think he changed camps after a 2-fight losing streak in Brave. Like basically, yeah, I mean the contender series fight for Diaz is like what you want to look at. Like I think, Diaz. I mean, and also just Diaz's experience. Like he's got uh, what was I thinking about Lee? So it's like I watched his
Something about how he had switched camps and then something.
no, that's Diaz, but no, I was something about. I mean, okay, so like Lee really seems to. I mean, there watched his like 2 most recent fights, and like he kind of seems he basically relies on like in one of the fights, he was able to double leg his opponent by slipping like a lot, like a very, very overcommitted right hook, right? Which he literally went down and then grabbed the,
So
like
basically, Drickus Duplessis style, pretty much.
I mean, yeah,
Because
Duplessis
Drickus is known for that. Like he gets takedowns and and he gets striking
almost,
off just
you know,
based on like something unexplainable technically.
but yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying. If I could, I mean, off the top of my head, I'd compare it more to when Aspinall took that Volkov down. You know, like he's slipping the fucking strike and then Scott, which looks very impressive until you realize like that the opponents he's doing that to are not the same quality as the opponents Diaz is finished in just as impressive types of ways. Um, yeah, I also think yeah, I think dude, I think Diaz is just like a lot better. Um, you know,
I'm going with Diaz as well by unanimous decision, just based
I'm
on
gonna take him by sub, dude.
by
Round
some.
2. Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, right? While you were explaining the type of competition that he's had and the regional titles that he's had. I was thinking that too. Now, the reason why I'm not going to go with the sub and go with the decision is because I feel that these two guys know a lot about submissions. They know what it's like to throw it on someone. They also know what, I mean, at least in the in Lee's case, he knows what it's like to be submitted as well. They're going to be very careful on the ground, and I think that
Yeah, but it's like for
yeah.
me. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I
Oh,
was
no,
just
I was just gonna say on to finish that off that the contest is going to be contested on the feet and also within scrambling exchanges, but mostly on the feet, to which I think Diaz is going to have the advantage based on his long-term MMA experience over Lee.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think he's gonna be better everywhere. The thing is, like, I think they're both gonna go, just based on how they've finished opponents. I mean, I think they're both gonna feel like they're gonna be able to handle themselves on the ground. Like the thing is, like only one of them will be able to. I think it's Diaz based on experience. You know, like I think it's like you said they're both comfortable on the ground. The problem with that for Lee is that you know he shouldn't be against against a guy who's far more experienced. I mean, granted his training camp and everything like that. I mean, I think it goes probably to the ground,
And
and
you know what?
Lee.
I see what you're saying now, though. Also, the other thing that I think kind of vouches for what you're saying is that just to be frank about it, I don't think Korea has the type of grappling programs that they do in Brazil, right? I just think that if you come from Brazil, naturally you're
Oh
just going.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I
uh,
mean, and I mean the guy's definitely got potential. I mean, his second to most recent fight, he subbed his opponent with a Von Flue choke, which is since OSP was in his prime, you haven't really seen many of those. But anyway, yeah, dude, yeah, I got
they're
Louis.
both with Diaz,
Yeah,
but with different results.
exactly. Okay, so next fight,
Alex
Alex Perez versus Sumudaerji. Tibetan Eagle, bro. Um, bro, this is like, so Alex Perez, right? I mean, he missed weight. He was, I think he was 1-4 in his last fights, and then knocked out Charles Johnson, right? Which which was I remember being like, what the fuck, this is crazy. I mean, I know Perez is dangerous right away, and he's very high output, but
and
that was
wait, opponent for both of them is Charles Johnson.
yeah, that's right. Now, like, just looking
Two
at the
Sergei caught the
yes,
end of that by decision.
yeah, Sumudaerji is he's bigger for sure. um and I don't know, it's what's see, I'm very like I mean, I don't know, I'm not like hesitant to take Perez. I mean, I'm gonna take Perez. I mean, his that dude, he's got real knockout power, I mean, Nicolau, I mean, he knocked Charles Johnson out, in
Yeah,
the first
very.
round, which is definitely fucking impressive. The thing is, though, it's like he knocks Sumudaerji out. I'm not so sure. He got finished by Tatsuro Taira, who took the back. He got subbed by Asakura Bayev. Muhammad Makayev, kind of had like a boring fucking decision win for him. But the left, yeah, he got Charles Johnson with a left hook that was fucking disastrous. Sumudaerji, he is is he still a team alpha male? No, he trained there, but
Yeah,
and both fight coaches.
I think he still is because usually they put guys in the in the same card. You know what? You know what? Sumit Durji, I seen him a few times at 24 Hour Fitness in downtown Sacramento. You know what I mean? And I've also
Oh,
seen.
nice.
So
Damn.
yeah, I think he's still so. Yeah, I'm going with Sumudaerji on this one. I know that sounds like biased because he, trains at a Team Alpha Male, but hear me out on this, right? The reason why I'm going for him is because I would compare it to, let's say, in boxing terms, what happened with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, right? Where you're dealing with somebody who's a finisher, but you also are dealing with somebody that can also be finished. But then
Yeah,
you got this guy.
you're talking about boxing though, dude. I
Huh?
mean, you're talking
No, no,
about
no.
boxing.
But in the sense of technical application, you'll see what I mean by this, right? So in the last couple of fights for Sumudaerji, he's been coming off of decisions after decisions, and I know a lot of people sometimes will look down on decisions that you can't finish someone, but what I see out of yeah, what I see out of that with decisions is like you've been through the ringer, you've been through those rounds, and ultimately I think that's kind of also why I would pick Max Holloway over McGregor, right? Because
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's other reasons for that
true,
too.
true, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, no, I agree.
but in
I
the technical application and knowing how to go through all three rounds or all championship rounds. I mean, in this case, all three rounds. Yeah, I'm going with Sumudaerji by decision because I think just the pattern alone that he developed within those last three fights, I think
mhm.
may carry him over against Alex Perez, who, has a good chance of probably trying to go for a finish on this one, right? In a
Yeah,
very
yeah. I mean, one beat Charles Johnson, the other lost to him, and that's MMA fucking algebra. So that's. I mean, and you're right, dude. I mean, Jesus Aguilar is not. People don't realize how good Jesus Aguilar is. Assuming that he did just beat him pretty dominantly by decision. See, Perez is more of like a killer be killed type fighter. The thing is like the thing about that is that, knocking out Charles Johnson in his last fight, Mateus Nicolau faded a lot by the time, that fight happened. But Perez has lost to the best. He lost to Pantoja. He had a title shot against Figueiredo. He got guillotined. But he's got that against Formiga. He had that fucking leg kick TKO that he got arm triangle. I mean, and he's fought some of the best fighters, man. Like I think I think that Sumudaerji is very durable. I he's open. He has been subbed by Tim Elliott, by Matt Schnell. But, it's 2022 Matt Schnell. His debut, he was armbarred by Louis Smolka, but debut is a debut. I just think that he I think that Perez, throws so many strikes. I'm gonna take Perez by decision. Because Sumudaerji is, I mean, he started to finish him by TKO is very difficult. But I mean, and then again though, it's like it's not easy to knock out Charles Johnson either. But yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, it's possible Perez could sub him. Really don't think that's gonna happen. I just think and Perez's cardio is, I mean, he throws so much that and he's very fast. I think Sumudaerji, he applies like a passive pressure. If that makes sense. Like he does pressure, but he does it like subtly. Whereas Perez just comes out hot, right? And
right, and
you know,
that's sort of what I saw with being able to keep up a pace to where he can outpoint him with all three rounds. That's sort of what I was noticing. When I'm going for him on a decision. So okay, so that's interesting. We both have decision on that one, but on the opposite end of each of
yeah,
those.
yeah. So is that 2 or 3 disagreements?
I believe we're at 3 disagreements now. Yeah.
Yeah. So the others are you're taking Aoriqileng or shit, I forgot.
What? Which fight again?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. What are other disagreements? Let me see. You had.
We'll probably have to replay this back to.
Wait, I do. Hold on. Okay, so we both took Vera. We both took. I'm taking Cody Haddon, right? You're taking Aoriqileng, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm taking Meng Ding. So are you? I'm taking Luis Felipe Diaz. Are you taking Isaac Lee or no?
Diaz, I'm going with as well. Yeah.
Okay, and you're taking Meng Ding.
Yes.
Okay. And then Cody Haddon or Aoriqileng.
Yeah. I went with the Mongolian unalive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I'm taking Rodrigo Vera. Are you taking Zhu?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, those are the 3. All right, sick.
So the next one, yeah, I'm you know what? Obviously, Muslim Salikov
Yeah, so it's he's out. It's Carlston Harris now versus Jake Matthews. You see that?
Yeah, for this one, straight off the bat, I'm gonna go with Jake Matthews, right? And not because he's a Muslim convert, by the way.
Wait,
Shout out to him. You know what I mean? But
wait,
no,
Matthews is a Muslim convert?
Yep.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Very open about it as well. Very open about it as well. So
Nice.
I was very excited to hear it.
And I'm taking his new opponent is Carlston Harris, who's trash.
Right.
You know,
and also, Jake Matthews has been fighting in the UFC since he was a teenager, right? So he was on the Ronda Rousey, Holly Holmes card. That's how.
Yeah, he has been around for.
Yeah, man, and So imagine that, right? He was on that card, and he's only 31 years old, right? Like that's put that in perspective.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah, and he won his debut by triangle choke.
And he was a teenager, bro. So it's.
Yeah.
Muslim Salikov would have obviously been a much more competitive fight. Obviously he can't make it.
He did. Jake Matthews lost to I swept, dude. I swept that card. I think the most recent one I swept. What was it? It was the Reyes versus Olberg card. Yeah, Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. He he got subbed by Magny by Darce. A lot of people thought that I forget what it was, that a lot of people thought that there was some corrupt shit happened, but I can't remember. But anyway, Carlston Harris though is fucking, I mean, he's fragile, it seems, and he's also 38 to Matthews 31. I mean, he's a little bit bigger, right? 3 inches of reach and an inch of height. But he 19-7. He's had less fights, even though so I mean 30 professional MMA fights for Jake Matthews at 31 years old, 38-year-old.
And has been in the UFC since he was a teenager.
Yeah. 38-year-old Carlston Harris.
Yeah.
26. He also Carlston Harris is signed with the UFC 7 years after Jake Matthews, even though he's 7 years older. Shavkat knocked him out in the first round. He beat Jared. His best wins are fucking Jared Gooden and probably subbing Jeremiah Wells with the Anaconda choke. Then he got knocked out, in the first round by Chaos Williams. Santiago Ponzinibbio knocked him out. And that was the beginning of 2025. So he hasn't fought in like a year and a half. I think he's more than washed. I'm very,
coming off of 2 knockouts too, right?
Yeah, especially the Chaos one, but also Ponzinibbio, who's not young either.
And this is very tailor-made for Jake Matthews because
I think Matthews is a lock. I mean, I'm not, What do I have him by? Fucking
And
yeah.
the reason why this is tailor made for him, obviously, you have a guy here who's coming off of two first round. I'm sorry, well, not two first round, like two knockouts, one TKO and one knockout. So that's tailor made for Jake Matthews. On top of the fact that if you see Jake Matthews in his flow state, I'm trying to remember which fight it was. He was in such a flow state during this fight where it was like, man, if he fights and continues to fight like this, he's going to be a top contender. I believe that was the that was a Francisco Prado fight.
Prado's kind of trash, but yeah.
Yeah, he was looking really good in that fight in an absolute flow state, and then obviously he followed up with the in Jinoki fight, a rear naked choke, in the first round, and then obviously
the cheating and Jaqueline fight. Dude, what's more impressive than anything is that Michael Morales beat him by decision. Michael Morales couldn't finish him, which is very I mean, that to me is like, Michael Morales knocked out Sean Brady in one round, it's it's very impressive, dude. The first round sub on Chidi definitely, I think Jake Matthews, he almost can't lose this fight, in my opinion.
So you reckon first round knockout? That's
probably second, because Matthews takes a minute to he's not.
Good point. That's a good point. The flow state, he has to get in that flow state a little bit, and that's what I think it is.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we got Jake Matthews. All right, Kai Asakura versus Cameron Smotherman. All right, so Kai Asakura, they basically, I think Pantoja, when he became champion, fought very cautiously, right? Which is why, decision over Steve Erceg, right? And basically, and Rogar. They threw Kai Asakura in there to get an immediate title shot, forcing Pantoja to fight, in a more exciting way or get knocked out, which he did, and which is and subbed Asakura. And then Asakura got totally neutralized and subbed by Tim Elliott, who fought one of the weirdest, but very most impressive fights I've seen, actually. The way he was kicking, it was crazy. But anyway, so Kai Asakura, he's 0-2 in the UFC, coming in off as fucking rising royalty. He just won the belt from Juan Archuleta. I think he fought Kyoji Horiguchi in 2020 for the belt. He did get knocked out. He's also fought Minnow Cobb. He got knocked out, but he had knocked out Horiguchi earlier. He'd beaten Minnow Cobb by split decision earlier. The guy's very. His striking is insane. Yeah, but they put him against two guys that can really grapple. Tim Elliott game planned for that very well. So this fight's at bantamweight too.
And they're both coming off of two losses, obviously. Smother,
and the thing about Smotherman though is he's a striker. He's really good in Fury. He lost his first contender series fight, or his only contender series fight, in 1 minute by he got bulldozed, actually. And then so he went back to Fury. Did a couple of impressive, he won by Anaconda choke. His only win by submission. But that was against a 4-6 opponent. Debuted against Jake Hadley. It looked really good, actually. And then Sergei City just outclassed him. Ricky Simone really outclassed him. And yeah, I think Kai Asakura is gonna probably knock him out, dude. Because he might try to grapple with Asakura, but Asakura is so fast with his strikes.
So we're both going with Kai, but with different results. You see a knockout. What round?
2. I mean, I'm being safe at that.
Okay.
I think Smotherman can survive.
I'm going off of decision by Kai. The reason why is because I think that both of them coming off of 2 losses in a row will make the fight a lot cautious, right? I think there's going to be a part of hesitancy on both of their part. No, and especially with Kai, right? Like, yes,
I disagree. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, no, it's okay. But that's what I see. I think that the 2 losses that they both have experienced, I think, there's a lot on the line, more so for Kai because he was brought here as, sort of the ambassador for Asian mixed martial arts, in particular Japanese mixed martial arts. And so, he's going to feel a lot of pressure behind that, right? And
I think, yeah. I mean, you got Horiguchi that as well.
But what we agree on is that he's obviously the better fighter between the 2.
Oh yeah.
Right. But it's just that we see 2 different results based on 2 different variations of of sequences of outcomes. Right. The sequence that we are 2 guys that are coming off of 2 losses in a row and are looking to redeem that. And I think there's a slight pressure into that. I'll give you an example, right? When Francis Ngannou came back from his loss to Stipe, you know who he fought? Derek Lewis, right? And
I know what you're saying, dude. The classic, like, tentative. Yeah, I mean, you just saw it with Dominic Reyes and Johnny Walker. But
correct. Yes.
But in this fight, dude, the difference is Cameron Smotherman is a win or lose by decision guy, whereas Kai Asakura, like, he'll knock you out if you don't sub him, when it comes to MMA, I really, that's really, he's Kai Asakura's not, I don't see Kai Asakura, being tentative. I'd say second round knockout instead of first because he may, try to figure out if, like, this guy's a grappling threat, but
and that's the beauty of MMA is that on any given night, the things that you said could be right, and then the things that I said could be right as well. But the one thing we both agree upon is that he's the better fighter.
Yes, and also, he's so cool, dude. He's like the number. I don't know. So he's got some crazy social media numbers apparently in Japan. Which,
dude, and that, I took that into consideration as well, right? There's a lot of pressure on him, especially also this kind of goes into psychological culture as well. If you think about it, taking a phone call, I'll take over from that for a second. So what I see here, guys, is a bit of a psychological, cultural factor here, right? There is this aspect of honor in the Japanese culture. If you guys don't know anything about the Japanese culture, they have the highest suicide rates in Japan based on the fact of social pressure, right? Social pressure.
Man, Japanese businessmen, they a lot of pressure. School, dude. You ever listen to that song "Wave of Mutilation" by the Pixies? It's about Japanese businessmen driving off cliffs.
It's sort of that Bushido culture, like, I will not dishonor my family.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is though, like Asakura is not thinking like that, bro, because he's a fighter. It's like it's non-conformist to like the greater societal pressures of Japan.
Hey, you know what? That's a very good point, man. You made a
Yeah,
good
because it's like, I mean, yeah, it's like, oh, of course, that's like, that's true about Japanese culture, but it's like, if you find it's like you find your ticket out, like, you don't, you don't.
Yeah, no,
really,
you're absolutely right about that, right? Because what the Japanese MMA culture is tied to, they're tied to organized crime, the Yakuza, right? And the Yakuza, as their goal is completely like iconoclastic towards the norms of Japanese culture. That's the reason why they're all tatted up. Most normal Japanese people are not tatted up like that, right? When you're tatted up like that, it's a symbol that you're somebody that's willing to commit crimes on on a very extreme level. So
yeah,
yeah,
this video is gonna get
very good point on the nonconformist part, right? But
yeah,
still,
word.
I still do think that there is going to be a bit of some tentative towards him, like all MMA fighters across all cultures that are experiencing what they experienced in their past couple of fights.
I think I still think he knocks out Smotherman. But all right. Next fight is
where are we in the cards right now? So that is
it's my favorite fight on the card, dude. Sergei Pavlovich versus Tallison the Sheriff. Pavlovich.
Oh, that is a banger. You know what? I'm surprised that's not co-main event. Like I mean,
why you know why it wouldn't be, right? It's because like Pavlovich is fucking. They're
a Russian and a Brazilian guy.
No. It's that Pavlovich is ranked 3 and Teixeira's garbage, and he's also ranked 15th. Like,
okay, but where's Zhang and Menifield at? I mean,
that's the comment. Yeah, but it's because Zhang's Chinese and it's a Chinese card. But
okay.
But
okay.
but anyway, I mean,
so you're trying to say that the Chinese are are favorable towards their people in a very racist way. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's all right. The video's probably already on the Shadow Van chain, but fucking anyway, so yeah, just Pavlovich versus Teixeira. Obviously Pavlovich by first round knockout. He fought gun shy against everybody since but like less and less so, right? After Aspinall knocked him out. He fought that like calculated fight against Rosenstrike where he just like took him down. It was like game plan that way. And then he all but knocked Waldo out. I fucking hate Waldo, by the way. And yeah, Pavlovich, Pavlovich, he's just barreled through people. Curtis Blaze, Derek Lewis, type of boxer, right? And and then after he lost to Aspinall, I think that had a lot to do with the Volkov loss. And then, the way he fought Rosenstrike was like, I'll be damned if I'm going on a 3-fight losing streak. So let me just calculate this. And then he was, he's almost back to himself against Waldo. I think with this, just given the fact that, I mean, look what he did to Derek Lewis. Look at Derek Lewis did to Tallison the Sheriff. Like, Tallison the Sheriff sucks. I mean, you might, and Pavlovich has a crazy reach. He's 6'3", it's 84-inch reach. He's got a longer reach than Teixeira.
Right. Very impressive for a man that's only 6'3" in comparison to someone who's 6'7". And you're, you know what? Like I know that's very just kind of like
relevant.
Lame to say that he's garbage, but what I saw out of
I mean it's all relative, man. Like,
no. I'm sort of agreeing with you, but I'm also trying to be nice about it, right? But what I saw out of the Alex Pereira sparring, I think vouches for what you're trying to describe.
Wait,
that's what I think.
He sparred with Pereira.
Yeah, and Pereira was. I mean, look, Pereira didn't look any better, but man, he was piecing up Teixeira.
Of course.
Yeah. He was piecing him up.
Teixeira is sloppy, bro. He barely beat Taijovasa. Yeah. It was yeah, that I mean, yeah, and yeah, he kind of like barreled through Justin Tava, but I mean, that was half a takedown anyway. But yeah, dude, Pavlovich. I think
Both of-
I think
both of
this
us agree by the result and the and the athlete. Result and the athlete are both one and the same for this fight. We're both going first round knockout by
for
half.
John knockout, definitely. I mean, I think it's gonna look like Pavlovich Blades or Pavlovich Versteg Lewis, yeah, fuck it. I can't wait for that shit. All right, yo, co-main event.
Co-main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the co-main event of the evening.
Yo,
so Zhang,
hold on.
Off of a Johnny.
Zhang Mingyang versus Alonzo Menifield. Yo, the significant strikes landed per minute on Zhang Mingyang is crazy. It's like Joshua Van numbers. I mean, not exactly, but 7.71. That's a shitload of fucking strikes for a light heavyweight.
That's that Asian stamina right there, and he's a light heavyweight, right?
Yeah. That's what I said.
Some, bigger Chinese fighters. I mean, we've obviously seen, Zhang in boxing. That 6'9" dude. Or that fought Aget Gabayel, but
I forgot about that actually. Yeah, I forgot you know a lot about boxing. Yeah, that's another thing I never would have remembered probably for the rest of my life. And so
and he's one of the top boxers in the world, and he's a huge heavyweight, right? So the Chinese, man, they're making their people a whole lot bigger now, and Ming is a classic example of that. So this dude is standing at 6'2". He's very big at 6'2", right? Like very muscular, but at the same time, not too like. He's not buff like Alonzo Menifield. Now, obviously, Alonzo Menifield is a hugged up, shorter 205er, right? I think the jabs are going to vehemently affect Alonzo Menifield. He's going to get picked apart from the outside.
He's also I mean, he's taking a lot of damage. He's how old is he? He's 38. Right? Yeah, he's 38. Zhang Mingyang's 27. Like, Alonzo Menifield, bro, he I mean, I had him beating Julius Walker, and he did by fucking split decision. I remember that being. I mean, I needed that win. He did, and I got it, but he fucking barely pulled that off. Ozdemir
Volkan Ozdemir.
Yeah, Ozdemir was fucking. Ozdemir slammed them out. So did the way Oldberg beat Menifield was fucking beautiful. It was like 12 seconds. He's just like, it's like, I'm gonna run for you and turn around and fucking crack you in the face.
So we agree on the athlete here. Do we agree on the result? Do we? I'm going with a decision.
You're going with a decision, really?
Huh? Yeah. I'm going by decision. Now I know Mingyang could probably knock him out on any given night. He could probably knock him out in this fight, but. I always try to consider rhythm, not just rhythm, also momentum going into a fight.
Well, think about this though, really quick, right? Menifield has he hasn't lost by decision since William Knight in 2021. His losses, his last 5 fights, he's 2-3, right? Like, he's got 2. The wins are by split decision and unanimous, but all 3 losses are by knockout for 2 first and 1 second round. Mirzakhanov took Mirzakhanov in the second round, and then Mirzakhanov knocked him out. I think Mingyang probably the same, second round knockout. Just because, I mean, Mingyang tries to finish people, I mean,
yeah.
And I mean, he's He's done all first round knockouts. Johnny Walker got him obviously his last fight. But
The killer be killed type of fighter, pretty much.
yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but it's not like glass cannon, type shit because Johnny Walker, Johnny Walker was able to not. I mean, basically, it's like if you don't Menifield's been knocked out in the first round by Ozdemir, by Ulberg, right? Like Mingyang, he's knocked out all three opponents, or 3 out of 4, right? So it's like, Johnny Walker made it past that, and then found that it's like Menifield. It's like, even if he survives the first round, Mingyang's gonna fucking just, he's gonna out cardio him. He's got knockout power. Menifield. Menifield's getting gas. He's probably gonna be eating body shots too. So like, it's gonna be. It'll probably be a dominant first round for Mingyang, and then he knocks him out in the second, is what I think. But
and the reason why I see a decision in this one, I just think because I factor in the fact that both of them are coming off of knockout losses, and whenever you come from something like that, there's going to be a chance where you're going to be a little bit tentative. I've seen that.
You were saying that before. I don't really think so on Mingyang's end. I think Menifield wins decisions, but he doesn't. But doesn't really lose them.
To which is why I sort of see it like that, because Alonzo Menifield does win decisions, but at the same time though, that's where he's going to try to take this fight. He's going to try to take this fight in that direction where Mingyang has to try and chase him. Look,
really? You think so? Because I think it'll be the opposite, dude. That's how Carlos Solberg got him. It's like he knew he would fucking run towards him, so he's all right, like, come on.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? The reason why I sort of feel that way is because there's moments in a fight, and I've experienced this too in there, right, where you sort of sometimes want to match the energy of your opponent. There's a little bit of that sometimes, right? Where you want to match your energy. So, in other words, Alonzo Menifield is going to try to, fight at range, and then Mingyang is going to try to do the same thing. Or if the opposite, Mingyang tries to fight at range, it's Alonzo who's going to try and chase him down. But then there's nothing that comes out of that. No one's moving forward. So now they're just kind of in this stalemate position, and usually that comes from a previous but
I mean, but some fighters fight like that. Other, like Rakic, I mean, he's moving up to heavy, but Rakic wasn't, he's not somebody who like flicks for knock. Dude, like Zhang Mingyang's trying to finish people. Menifield's more like measured and everything, but like he also he's also if you it's like the people that have knocked out Ozdemir and Mirzakhanov to the second round because he had to go up the middle because Menifield was complete defense in that fight. But yeah, he's I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. It's like I don't think Menifield survives. Zhang, maybe probably the first round. For the first round, you get a lot for like what you're talking about with the tentative possibility of but yeah, by the second round, dude, Mingyang's finding openings and hitting it because like Mingyang just like he'll just strike through somebody's guard, and it's like that didn't really work against Johnny Walker, but it did against his 3 opponents before that. It will work against Alonzo Menifield, and it's like that's assuming that he like hasn't become more like a complete striker. If he just fights how he's fought, in his entire UFC career, I think he just overwhelms Menifield.
Okay, so same athlete, Just different results.
Different result, yeah. All right, main event, Kyrie.
The main event of the evening. Boy, let me tell you, man.
Whatever fucking time it will be in.
50 fight right here. 50-50 fight.
What? No, it isn't.
Well,
All right. Here, you go first then.
actually, let me change that. Come to think of it, not 50-50.
No. Say what you're gonna say.
I'll say 60-40, but on the side of Deiveson Figueiredo.
Yeah. All right. Wait,
Yeah.
you're gonna take Figueiredo?
Yeah. And the reason why I'm taking him is because I just think that
crazy.
I think he has the experience in 5-round fights, and I think it's a show here.
I agree that he has experience, except he has experience getting knocked out by Sandhagen. He got Jan in the last Macau card. Jan, he survived, but Jan, beat his ass over the course of 5 rounds. Like he's dude. It's like he's past it, dude. He's not in his prime anymore. I mean, he went to, he couldn't sub Damon Jackson, not Damon Jackson. Fuck am I thinking of? Montel Jackson. Who did he fight last?
Sean O'Malley. Oh no, you're talking about Figueiredo.
Yeah, Figueiredo, dude. And Song Yadong, he almost beat O'Malley. I mean, that.
Omar, he fought Omar. In the same card that Song Yadong fought Patty.
Why am I blanking?
And then he. So the reason why.
Yo, I think you just cut out, bro. Yo, Kyrie. Kyrie, you wanna know? You mean Umar, by the way. Yo. The fuck? Yo, your mic's fucked. 1 second. Alright, dude. Here, I was gonna say, yo, Kyrie, your audio's chopped, but.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Okay, yo, sorry. Someone tried to call me. I had to,
Oh yeah, you're fine, dude.
Oh, no. So what I was saying was, what I'm basing off of the Deiveson Figueiredo win on this one is his win against Montel Jackson, right? And then going the distance with Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. I mean, Montel Jackson though, it's like, dude, prime Figueiredo subs Montel Jackson in the first round. Yeah.
Right. But he still managed to get that win off, right?
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a split decision for sure, but it's like Montel Jackson even taking a round off of him means he's, probably because Montel Jackson he fought tentatively the rest of that fight after being taken down. I think Figueiredo's chin's pretty dusted. Dude, Sandhagen, that was a slaughter. And that's after Pyongyang kind of softened him up. I think you had a 10-year age difference too. Song Yadong's 28, Figueiredo's 38. Song Yadong's a lot. He's 3 inches taller, but he's got an inch of reach disadvantage. But regardless, dude, Song Yadong's looked. He's looked better and better. Pretty much. He didn't. It's like they both lost to Jan. The Chris Gutierrez fight. It's like, Song Yadong can go 5 rounds. He did it. He finished Ricky Simone in the 5th round main event. Gutierrez by a decision. I guess they both lost to Sandhagen, but Yadong early on when he knocked out Marlon Moraes, that was when I started paying attention to him. They both beat Marlon Vera. you know. But Marlon Vera won a round on Figueiredo, and that's washed, washed there, washed, yeah.
Do you see a finish in this fight?
Yeah, I'm gonna say fifth round TKO.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's very specific. On
Well,
obviously.
I'm basing that on the was it? Yeah, it was Ricky Simone that he finished in the fifth round. It's like Yadong, like he tends to like wear people down. He's not coming out hot, but also Figueiredo is so. I mean, I hate to just like categorize somebody as being washed like that. When it's not necessarily the case that he's completely fucked. Like, but yeah, dude, I just don't. I
But you
mean,
feel like this is Song Yadong's fight to win in
oh
terms
yeah,
of.
yeah. I think he's a lock because it's like, I mean, think about I mean, see, it's like the only real threat would be grappling. If you're selling it on, right, what are you worried about from what are you worried about from Figueiredo now? You know,
I
um,
say, uh, uh, I would I don't man. You know what speed factor? Do you think Song Yadong is faster than Deiveson
oh
Figueroa?
yeah, I mean they might be even for a round, but like probably not even. I think Yadong is I think Yadong's a lot faster.
So
Um,
the reason why I say decision, I see Deiveson maintaining a certain pace of range and distance, right? I could see Song Yadong being very aggressive, trying to come in close, trying to get some, wild shots in. But I could see Deiveson, nullifying that. I see this as a 5 round kickboxing affair. But
I
on the
mean, yeah. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
on the side of Deiveson Figueroa. So I think he gets the decision on this one. If in fact not just any decision, I would say that it's going to be a split decision. I think that he would
Yeah.
he would really have to work for this, right?
I
But
mean,
I
yeah. I see. I disagree on that. With the layout of that because, or the what narrative of it, because it's like I think Figueiredo is gonna be dangerous in the first round and a half, and Yadong's gonna just weather that, and then the pace is gonna shift. I mean that's. I mean, if you remember how he fought Chris Gutierrez, it was very similar to that actually. And basically Henrique Simone. Because I mean, Ricky Simone was trying to kill him for the first like couple of rounds, and then I should check the I forget how both those fights were scored because I mean, Figueroa just doesn't have like it's like that. I mean, and that's his opening is like right away. He's gonna either try to sub him right away, or or knock him out, but he's not he doesn't have knockout power like that anymore. Let me see. Yeah, he beat Yadong. I'm looking at 5 round fights. It was a 50-44. Again against Chris Gutierrez. Like he did everything but finish him. And then Ricky Simone, he finished him in the fifth. Performance of the night, and then you remember the Seiudo fight. I mean, that was,
yeah.
that
So
was,
do you see a possibility of Song finishing Deiveson?
yeah. I think he finished him late. Like
But
he
yeah,
did.
that's right. You said that's right. Sorry, I forgot. You said
Yeah,
fifth
yeah.
round stuff. AO.
No,
Okay.
fifth round, TKO, probably very similar to the Ricky Simone fight. Yeah, I mean, Simone's more purely like a striker than Figueredo. I mean, Figueiredo's gonna probably try to grapple, to be honest, because I mean, he's not he's not knocking Yadong out right away. I mean, he might try to do that, but it's not gonna happen. I think his Figueiredo's best shot is to try to sub him early. I mean, I think Yadong survives that, and then turns the tide of everything. You know.
Okay, so there we have it. There's all the way till the end is where we disagreed on the fight. A lot of these fights we agreed upon.
Yeah, we got four disagreements, right?
Four disagreements,
All
right?
So those disagreements are you're taking Figueiredo, I'm taking Song Yadong. You're gonna take Sumudaerji, I'm taking Alex Perez, right? You're taking Aoriqileng, I'm taking Cody Haddon, and you're taking Kangjie, I'm taking Rodrigo Vera.
Yep.
All right. So I mean, it could be a draw, but probably not. I don't know. I mean, I have to think that, right?
Yeah.
All right, Kyrie. Yo, thank you.
Thank you. You know what? Shout out to the UFC for putting together a very.
Don't shout the UFC out. Don't be a company man. I'm joking, dude.
Yeah, we'll get accused of like being, like shills or whatever, right? But no, really though, think about this, right? Obviously, this is far more competitive than what they had put on an MVP. Obviously, the MVP MMA card was just a spectacle, right? A spectacle of legendary names, Night of Legends type of thing, right? This right here is the concurrent best fighters in the ranking systems right now, not only in the UFC, but also in worldwide MMA. So, there's a reason why, we've had a few disagreements on the fights, but there's also reasons why we've had different picks on the results of the fights, because that's just how competitive these fights are. And, man, it's going to be a wonderful sight to see 1 a.m. in the morning all the way to 4 a.m. in the morning, West Coast time, as we try to adjust the prime time of a Chinese card.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be fucking up all night. Also, 1 a.m. in the morning. It's like 1 a.m. or 1 in the morning. Yeah. Fucking. I love that shit. The fucking Australian card recently is like. Yeah, it's so much.
That's gonna be, if you think about it, that's Friday our time, heading into Saturday morning. So it's like, if there's no other, big cards out there, the night is young after that.
That's right. After hours, MDMA. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Kyrie? Fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot you got a wife and kids. I really did for a second. I was like, good shit, man. Let me.
A lot of stuff, man. Hey, listen, this has been an honor. Doing this.
Yeah. Thank
really.
You. Thank you for me too. And I'm gonna timestamp this bitch. Premiere probably in like a few hours.
And also, guys, if you are watching this all the way to the end, don't forget to check out my channel on the link.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna link it in the title, bro. But go ahead, play.
Oh yeah, and then like and subscribe. Just to kind of give you a little heads up on the kind of content I do. Obviously, I also do the conventional mixed martial arts content. Right, we do predictions, breakdowns, also the storylines of the business, but not just the storylines of the business, how it all relates to geopolitics, also local politics, because with MMA, you can't leave politics out of it. It is just so entrenched in it. That is indicative of the UFC White House card going on and the president's relationship with the UFC and the president of the UFC. But also I cover street stuff, crime drama, and everything.
There you go. Also, here, let me sell the. All right, so like Kyrie's not part of the no pussy subsection of MMA YouTube, that covers politics. Like he's a different breed. So yeah, subscribe to subscribe to this channel. You remember, yeah, and it's like if you didn't like Critical Eye MMA, you'll like her.
Man, till this day, the video I made of him, people still watch it. Like I look at my analytics, I was like, wow, people are still into it. I literally took the dude's fans.
Yeah, that's really funny, actually. What's crazy is I've never seen that video, dude. Message me a link. As soon as I end this.
Look for it. So, okay, this is the best way to kind of get the audience, acquainted with my content. Look at the search on the inside the video section, and or also the live stream section, and just type.
Dude, you know what, dude? I'll link it in the fucking description. It's a lot easier. I'll link my debate with that fucking asshole where he's yelling, and fucking chimping out to where his fucking tooth fell out. Can't believe that happened.
All right, man.
Yeah. Word. All right, dude.
For a video that should focus widely on Song Yadong and Deiveson Figueredo, and of course the rest of the cast in the in the undercard. But for sure, we will definitely do a hit piece on him one of these days as a collaboration.
Oh yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. Yo. Here, let me end this video. But yeah, I'm gonna call you. I'll message you really quick. And I want to. I forgot to ask you something about that. All right, but yo, peace. Enjoy the Macau card, people.
All right, you as well, man. Have a good one, brother.
Yeah, Kai.